The biggest addiction in this country isn't drugs or alcohol. Mm-mm. It's ugly men, and some of you just can't quit them.
Man, they got the nerve, don't they? A whole lot of it. Girl, you know you need to quit.
I'm convinced they are attracted to us but do not like us. And this is such an accurate statement about the men of this generation that we are all currently dating. And I say this like me and my friends all the time. They don't like us. They're not interested in us. There's no desire to do certain things because they just don't like us.
They keep on saying this to themselves as if it makes it true, when really they don't understand how to be with a man. That's really all it comes down to. I mean, yeah, men can improve in a lot of different areas. A lot of different areas. Nobody's denying that. But the fact that you guys can't get it through your heads that just like you want to be treated a certain way, a man needs to be treated a certain way. You guys keep on doing this princess treatment thing. I'm in my receiving era. I'm in my feminine soft girl era. I want to be given everything. And then you leave the man with nothing. You don't even want to get a man McDonald's. Why? Let me ask you this. If you bought even your family, let's say you go out with your girls, oh, we're going to do a white elephant, and y'all do a white elephant, but only one person brings a gift, why would they not be upset over time? Okay, maybe that was something that was a problem, but after this event, y'all need to go get me a present. Y'all need to, and next time y'all need to make sure that this doesn't happen again. And if it happened again the next year where y'all were exchanging gifts and only one person bought a gift to give to all of y'all, it would be a problem and she would probably stop talking to y'all. I don't know why that you think it's going to be different in relationships when you don't give men anything, absolutely nothing. And then you expect the man to continue to give and give and give and give. Like, who does that? You're not my child. I'm not your father. You need to start reciprocating energy, and then maybe people will value you.
Here's my biggest unpopular opinion. The prettiest girls don't get guys. Let me explain. Have you ever wondered why the prettiest girls are always single? I think for women, there are different degrees of pretty. There's like cute pretty, and then there's drop dead gorgeous pretty, like Nicole Scherzinger. If you're in the drop dead gorgeous category, chances are you're really intimidating to guys. They either think you must already have a boyfriend or that you wouldn't even look in their direction. And because they fear rejection, they wouldn't dare come and speak to you. Guys love to flirt with women any chance they can get, but only with women that they think that they can easily get. Don't get me wrong, really pretty girls do get approached by guys sometimes, but typically it's guys that are way below their league and like really ugly guys, because those guys don't have an ego. They don't really fear rejection because they get rejected all the time. If you feel like guys never approach you, but you notice that they're always staring, you're way prettier than you think. Yeah, if you're a really pretty girl and you're wondering if you're ugly because you never get approached by guys, just know that it's because they're probably scared of you.
Well, let's take your argument that they're scared. They're here to see how they can get the guy to approach. It doesn't do these young ladies any good to say, oh yeah, they're scared of you. That's why they're not approaching. That's not going to get me married. That's not going to give me anything. Give me something I can use so I can attract these men. Maybe tell me to put a smile on my face. Maybe tell me to be more inviting. How do I do that? Well, you, once again, put a smile on your face, but also you need to show that you are open to being approached. And you can show to a certain person, if you don't want these weirdos coming up to you, you can show to a certain person, hey, I'm open and available. If you guys, like you said, because that's your sign, have locked eyes, maybe you said, okay, he's locked eyes with me once, he's locked eyes with me twice, 3 times. I'm going to get up and go over there and walk like I'm going to the restroom and accidentally bump it. Oh, I'm so sorry. And then go use the restroom, come back out. Oh, I'm sorry again. Hey, those are nice shoes. Huh? That's easy. That's easy. Or you can drop the handkerchief. Some people say it don't work, but you got to start using your brain the way you want a man to use his brain to come over to you. Y'all got to start doing the same thing.
Y'all, tell me why I was talking to this guy on this dating app and he was so nice. He was very straightforward about what he wanted. He was like, I want a relationship. I'm not here to play games, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, King, go off. Set your boundaries. I love it. And he was like, we're going to go on a date on Sunday. I've got it planned out. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that sounds great. Like, and he was like, what kind of food do you like? And he like curated this date for me. And I was like, this is so nice. Like, this is going to be great. And so it's like a Tuesday. The date's on Sunday. And I get off work. And I'm like disheveled, you know, no makeup, hair a mess. I'm elbow deep in a box of Cheerios, watching TV. And we were just texting and he was like, so I had mentioned, I was like, we should probably FaceTime before the date just to make sure you're not like a murderer or something. And he was like, oh yeah, let's FaceTime right now. And I was like, well, not like right now. I was like, you know, later. And he was like, no, I don't want some like curated version of you. I want to see you candid. And I was like, oh, I'm shy. Sorry. And he was like, this isn't going to work out.
I think that's a result of what a lot of men have experienced on dating apps. Between the pictures that look nothing like the actual person, the bots, the scammers, the real but flaky women, that man was not playing games, but the fact that you didn't want to FaceTime then and there made him think that you were. And side note, so many women would love the chance with a man that knows what he wants, has boundaries, and can communicate clearly. Because of that, the fact that he had all of these qualities of a solid, good man, I don't think it's too crazy to consider throwing aside your insecurities and doing the FaceTime.
I wake up to this text from a man I have not spoken to in 7 months, acting like nothing has happened, saying, hey, what are you up to today? I went really back and forth on whether or not I should respond, but I just figured, you know what, I do kind of want to see this through and see whatever. So I just said, hey, I'm moving today. I was moving within New York, but it was big, stressful move day. And he said, he like asked questions about that, whatever. And then he was like, well, I'm in New York and I'd really like to spend some quality time with you. What? Like, I'm like, what? Does this man have like a secret life? Is he like away from his girlfriend or something? Like, what? Why now? Why all this enthusiasm and sweet talk? Like, all of the radars are going off. All of my little senses, my spidey senses are tingling. And I'm like, something's not adding up. But I keep it cool because I'm like, if we are meeting up, I'm going to address this in person. I'm going to grill this man. So I'm like, oh, blah, blah, blah. He offers to help me move. And I'm like, okay, now it's getting desperate. Like, calm down. I just say, let's meet for drinks and dinner tonight. He's like, great, yeah, let me know. So I pick a cool place. I'm also like, he's definitely paying. So I pick really nice places for drinks and dinner. And I'm like, okay. I have a whole plan in my head. I'm like, I'm going to go to drinks. I'm not going to be too eager. I'm not going to be too nice. I'm not going to be that like version of me that he does not deserve. I'm going to go to drinks and I am going to be, charming enough. Keep it light. Don't do any like deep catching up yet. And then at dinner, I'm firing off the questions and I'm putting him in the hot seat. So that's exactly what happens. I get ready for dinner. I look amazing, or for drinks. And then I meet him at this drinks place. We kind of like catch up a bit, nothing in depth. We're just kind of like making small talk over drinks. And it's good. It's fine. I'm kind of like the whole time, but it's fine. And then I'm like, okay, like we have a dinner reservation. We go to the dinner. We're sitting down. Conversation's good. It's nice. We order. We get our drinks, we're like a little bit in, and then I go, okay, so? And he's like, what? And I was like, all right, I'm gonna fire off some questions here. And he's like, okay, yeah, no, like fire away, whatever. And I'm like, the last time we spoke, you left me on red. I feel like, and he was like, wait. And I was like, well, I just want to like say my piece here. I feel like we met, we had a good connection. I was really excited about things. I was excited about the potential of things. And then it just kind of fizzled. It felt like you went away on this like conference thing and communication totally shifted. And yes, I sent that text, and I realize now maybe the like wish you well, wish you the best wasn't the right thing to say, but I was just very surprised that all of that and you just let it be. Like I just like I don't even really know why you reached out to me, because it just didn't feel like it felt like the chance you already had that chance and you didn't take it. I also had like a whole theory, whatever. He tells me, well, when you said wish you the best, I did really like you. I did have this like I did feel like that the connection was very mutual. I did all of those things, but it felt like you ended things with me, and I didn't want to like chase you. It felt like I don't know, something like that. And he said, I texted my group chat with guys, which is hilarious. I didn't realize y'all are doing that, which is scary. I wonder how many of those I've been in. And he said almost all of them were like, dude, move on. She's over you. Like, don't, like, there's nothing you can do. Just like, accept it. You fumbled the bag. On to the next. Guys, find a female friend to talk to first, okay? Because that was so not the outcome I was hoping for there either. Because I mean, like, yes, I acknowledge that the wish you the best thing was not the right thing to say, but like the door was open, and so he said all that, and I was like, okay, fine. But then I still did text you 2 weeks later, maybe more, and you never responded. And he was like, yeah, like I went back and forth on whether or not to respond, but I figured like you were probably already in New York by then, so what's the point? And I just felt like I don't know, you kind of had some like lame whatever. And I was like, the whole time I'm like, and he's like, what you think I like lost interest? And I'm like, well, that'd be crazy if you did, but I mean, that's not even what I'm thinking here. He goes, what? And I'm like, so you didn't have like a girlfriend, or you weren't like seeing someone else at the time? And he's like, no, I wasn't. I'm trying to find a girlfriend. I've been trying to find a girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, because like something just doesn't add up. Like, I just, and he's like, no, I really didn't, blah, 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 all this stuff. And I was just kind of like, okay, I mean, like, I just was excited about this, and then it just kind of sucks that it fizzled the way it did. And now it was just really, really random for me to get a text from you, because the last conversation we had was not super positive, and I just don't even really know what are we doing? And he was just like, yeah, I guess I just realized like with dating, and I've been dating a little bit more, and I think everybody's just like really scared to try, and blah, blah, gave this whole spiel, and was like, yeah, like I was really interested, like how is dating been going for you, blah, blah. We like talked about all of that. It was fine. He kind of like asked, he's in San Francisco, I'm in New York. So he kind of like asked when I was coming back, or like how often I come back and things like that. And we had like a good night, like it was nice. And then he went back to San Francisco. So, and like we like had like a nice exchange, and I told him like, you know, you can come back and stay with me, and we can have like a proper New York weekend. I haven't heard from him since, like following up on it, but I don't know, like I don't know that I need to. I don't know.
I do. You about to waste your time again, and it's going to be all men's fault. These types of modern women, you know what? Let me back up. Have y'all ever asked yourselves what's actually going to happen if y'all keep on messing around with dudes that waste y'all's time? I mean, dudes in your DMs vying for your time, and you decide to waste it on somebody that don't even like you. And then when the man that does not like you shows and confirms that he in fact does not like you, then you have a problem with all men. You get butthurt because one dude, he wasn't hiding. He wasn't conning you. He showed from the very beginning that he did not like you. Okay, maybe he took you on a date, maybe even 3, But at some point in time, you saw that that man didn't like you and you kept on with it. Specifically in this situation, kept on playing around. What are we doing? Are you out here to waste your time? You women, modern women keep on saying, I only got so much time. I know myself. I've grown. So I don't have no time for these men wasting the little bit of time that I have left. I couldn't tell.
Types of guys I would never date ever again. And no, you do not need to agree. You can keep on scrolling if you don't agree, but this is based on years of experience. Some of these guys are the types of guys that I realised a long time ago I didn't want to date, and some of them have been recently added to the list, some as recent as this year. I don't care if you don't agree. Some of these I will die on that hill that I would never touch men like that ever again. And before a bunch of the guys that say, for a woman that does videos on decentering men, you sure do talk about them a lot. This is for other women. This is for other girls. I'm very much in my single, choosing to be single, don't want a boyfriend, very, very fussy, unless you bring everything to the table, not settling down, very happy to not settle down, literally have no problem with you saying to me that I'm going to die alone in my house with cats. It would be a better life than settling for a husband that is mediocre. Self-appointed celibacy stage. Okay, glad we got that out of the way. Number 1. And this is one of the biggest ones that ladies, if you're going to listen to anything I ever tell you, please have it be this one. Any man that knows he needs to go to therapy, acknowledges he needs to go to therapy, or tells you he has trauma that could probably be worked on, or even just acknowledges that he has trauma that has affected his life, and refuses to go to therapy, because I'm not saying don't date men with trauma. I think that'd be an extremely small-minded thing to think, because if we were to not date people that have trauma, none of us would fight. Most of us have got some shit past. I'm not talking about people that have trauma, because I see a lot of videos where people go, don't date people with trauma, they're only going to do this and this. There's a difference. You've got two types of people with trauma: the people that don't want to acknowledge it and go around bleeding on everyone else, and the people that realise they have to do work on themselves. Their fault or not their fault, they realise now the effect has happened, they need to go and get some help, and they go and do it. And then they become much more secure, and they become much more healthy-minded people, and they go on to have really good relationships. But there's a big difference, because I find a lot of men will realise they've got trauma, or will say they should go to therapy. Lord, I've even had men lie and say they've gone to therapy, and it turned out they never did. And I found out afterwards. If he is telling you he doesn't need to go to it, or therapy is just for a certain type of man, or real men don't go to therapy, if he's coming out of toxic masculine BS, please run a mile, because if that man has got problems and he refuses to do work on it, guarantee you are going to bear the brunt of those problems. It is almost guaranteed. And honestly, I know that a lot of ladies could agree with this, especially the ladies that have gone to therapy themselves and done the work and become more secure. Men that say they're going to therapy, men that say they've been to therapy, I'm like, oh my God, tell me other ways than how you're really saying. I don't know what it is, but when a man says to me, oh yeah, I'll talk to you in a bit, I've just got therapy, or yeah, I did therapy for about a year, I'm like, oh my God, you self-aware king. It's so attractive. So attractive. Emotional intelligence is attractive. Somebody that can self-reflect is attractive. So if going forward I meet a man and I get talked to him about his like childhood or family history, and I find out he's got trauma, and then I sort of say, look, have you ever been to therapy? And they're like, nah, never would, never have. We can be friends. You can do you, but I won't be in your life doing it. I'm not going to be your partner. I'm not going to be dating you. I'm not going to pursue you. That's a hard no for me. Luckily, more and more women are waking up and realising they don't want to date men like this, and it's starting to hold more men accountable. So although it's still a massive divide, a lot more men are starting to go and seek some kind of help, a lot more than they ever used to. So baby steps. Number 2. This should be really obvious. This should be a no-brainer. This should be every woman ever, but unfortunately it's not. Men that make sex comments, and again, I've covered this before, but misogynistic men that make comment about women. Oh, but not you though. No, never. If they're going to talk shit about other women, they will eventually talk shit about you. Men that call their ex crazy. Ladies who have been there, we already know what that really means. Men that slag off their mother. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some mothers that deserve to be slagged off, and again, I've gone through this before. Same way as there are some fathers that deserve to be slagged off. But a lot of people that actually have genuine problems with their parents, they actually tend to not talk about them. They actually tend to be like, look, I'd just rather not go back and explore that. It's kind of painful, or I'm past it now. But people that have got like some pent up rage, and men that hate women, if they are still really maliciously talking about their sisters or their mothers, run a file, because 1, he's done no work, but 2, you'll be the next woman. Because men that hate their mums don't know how to love other women, and when they have that kind of feeling deep in their heart, they have a lot of resentment that they will go on to take out on you. Number 3, men that watch corn. And again, I did a video on this before saying about the dangers of corn and what I think of it. And as a girlie that used to watch a lot of Korn, was raised on Korn, and actually at one point really liked Korn, and who is now the complete opposite, knowing what it does to a woman's brain is one thing, but knowing what it does to a man's brain is a completely different ballgame. And again, you cannot tell me otherwise. If we look at how men treat women in society, if we look at the kind of Korn that people are watching, lots of incestual, lots of brother and sister, lots of stepmom, stepdad, lots of grape style Korn. No. A man that has his brain rotted with that can miss me. The men who I've dated that don't watch much or don't watch it, realistically don't watch much, they are the more romantic men. They are the men that spend more time on foreplay. They are the men that actually try to understand a woman's body and try to please her.
I actually do see where you're coming from, and a lot of things that you said I do agree with. If a man has trauma and he acknowledges that he has trauma, he's not trying to fix it, then that's going to be a problem. I would, however, say if a man is, maybe he doesn't have to disrespect his mother, but if he's distancing himself from his parents, can you at least ask him the reason why he's doing that? Because sometimes that does happen. Once again, he doesn't have to disrespect his mom, but I would say that sometimes that sort of stuff happens. They done learned your body, they didn't try to please you, and you're not with them. So there's that. But also to the Korn thing, I get where you're coming from, but it almost sounded like to me there, and maybe my understanding was bad, you were trying to differentiate a man's brain on Korn versus a woman's brain on Korn, as if to say, and maybe I got this wrong, as if to say that women react differently to it, and men are basically, in so many words, more aggressive with it and more violent with it, right? I can't let you go on that, because if you don't want him to do it, then you shouldn't be doing it, right? Not saying that you're doing it now, but it's a broader problem with modern women where it's rules for thee and not for me. Oh, well, I can do it because it don't affect me like this, and that. No. If you say I shouldn't be doing it, because you don't know what I'm doing. And once again, I'm not condoning this, because I don't. I'm saying you don't know how I handle it. You don't know what I be doing, what I be thinking, in order to be sitting up here on this internet telling me, oh, I ain't doing this, I ain't doing that, this and that. Absolutely not. You might not think that you have a problem with it, or it's changed your brain in a certain way. So you need to start asking a little bit more. Once again, there's a lot of stuff in there I agree with, but maybe there's a little bit more that needs to be explored on your part before making that final decision. That's all I'm saying.